Welcome to another edition of An Artifact Your Journey. I'm your host, Philip J. Merrill, aka the Negro History Detective, along with my trusted assistant,
Veronica A. Carr, otherwise known as the Negro History Detective's assistant.
And some days I'm just really tired, so I don't get out of bed. And
today's one of those days.
One of those days.
We're giving you a segment of Black History in bed.
Okay, and we're going to paint the town.
Black History this month, because this month is National Preservation Month.
And how are we going to share with the public some African American connections to preservation in historic Old West Baltimore?
We are going to talk about a lesser known painter and contractor in Old West Baltimore by the name of Frank Anthony Simmons.
And when did he live?
From 1882 to 1969.
Oh, sorry. I couldn't help the opportunity of trying to paint right here. I'm all excited about this. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So Frank Anthony Simmons, for over 60 years, was a contractor and painter in Baltimore and painted homes of both Baltimore's black leading citizens and leading white citizens as well.
And he also was so skilled that he could do commercial buildings. So he did residential and commercial buildings, and he left a preservation legacy. And what do I mean by that?
You mean by that he actually documented the houses, the addresses, the work that he did, and also the owners as well. So you see people like Mason A. Hawkins that he does work for, Reverend Dr. Harvey Johnson of Union Baptist Church. You see the McCard family, the Murphy family,
Warner T. McGuinn,
noted attorney. You see the Kerr family, Diggs, and the Bishop family as well.
It's like a proverbial who's who in Black Baltimore that Frank A. Simmons is working for. And it's just a godsend that he took copious notes, the year, the address, the work, and the cost. So one example would be of cost.
One example would be $275 worth of work for...
Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching.
That's quite a bit of money. For Mason A. Hawkins at 1532 Druid Hill Avenue.
And why is that significant?
Well, recently 1532 and 1534 were designated as the houses of suffrage leaders Margaret Hawkins and Augusta Chiselle.
And Margaret Hawkins was
the wife of Mason A. Hawkins.
And so Mason A. Hawkins was a long-time
educator,
principal of the colored high school that goes on to become the infamous Frederick Douglass High School.
So look at that power couple right there.
And the cost would be today
$4,263, and don't forget the 32 cents as well.
So in 1922,
$275,
and in 2020,
over $4,200 worth of work.
So the next time you walk or drive, when you are able to get out of COVID-19, this pandemic crisis that we're in, remember to stop by 1532 and think about the work and the craftsmanship that Frank A. Simmons, an African-American business owner, was able to do back during the 1920s. Oh, by the way, this is our light bright friend here. And in which research did we uncover where he was listed as white?
In his World War II draft registration card, he was listed as white with a ruddy complexion.
How do you like that? White with a ruddy complexion. Really?
Sure could pass.
But he didn't, and he was very proud of his African-American heritage.
In addition to actually doing work on African-American properties, Frank A. Simmons also helped to do some work with other African-American businesses.
One of his steady clients, not only client from doing work on the AfroAmerican Newspaper building when it was on Utah Street, but he also kept ads in the paper. So it's a mutual level of working together. He kept ads in the paper via this nice receipt right here that you get to see, as well as they would pay him to do work on the building.
And as early as the early 1900s, when the AfroAmerican Newspaper was still the AfroAmerican Ledger, Frank Simmons had a long-running ad advertising his house painting, school painting, and roof painting. And
through his copious documentation, you get to see so many of his receipts. This is a several hundred piece collection of canceled checks, business cards, receipts, notations that just give you a true eyewitness of who, what, when, and where for almost 50 to 60 years of work in Baltimore. But obviously we're focusing on historic Old West Baltimore. C. Marcellus Dorsey and Sons, a black printer. He even goes to a black dentist. I love it. And through canceled checks. So many people today don't even write checks, but back in the day, Frank Simmons had his own company's name emblazoned on his checks, and you get to track who he was paying. And it's fascinating to see that he was working with a black dentist, but a white bank that was located on Pennsylvania Avenue, 1808 Pennsylvania Avenue, the Calvert Bank. Anything else?
And in the late 1930s, he actually was paying $10 to the Association for the Promotion of Negro Business for a booth for to set up his business.
Very, very proactive in the concept of black on black, recycling the dollar, and black sustainability. And lastly, one of my all-time favorites, I've spent over 30 years documenting activities from the Robert W. Coleman legacy. The first colored directory, Frank Simmons, is a regular advertiser in this important book. How do we wrap this up?
So how do we wrap this up? Well, where did Frank Simmons actually get his paint from?
Well, you come on, handle an assistant. I'm tired. I've been painting all
Frank
day.
Simmons actually got his paint from 3 well-known companies, all of which are out in operation today. Buddicky Paints, which was recently acquired by McCormick Paints, where he also got his paint, and Sherwin-Williams.
And again, Preservation Month, the way we're celebrating Preservation Month, which is May, is looking at the various buildings that this gentleman right here, Frank A. Simmons, was doing contracting work on, and inside and outside, interior and exterior work within the 175 blocks that comprise Old West Baltimore.
So thanks for watching our first and hopefully not last episode of Black History in Bed.
I don't know. I think you're getting on my nerves. All right, we're out.
Out.